Olá, bem-vindos à Igreja no Mundo, o programa da Fundação AIS Ajuda à Igreja que Sofre. Sou o Paulo Ato e hoje vamos ver um documentário sobre a Tanzânia, melhor, sobre Zanzibar, este exótico arquipélago que tem sofrido nos últimos anos a violência do extremismo islâmico. E os cristãos têm resistido e têm dado provas de uma fidelidade notável. Vamos ver.
The Christians who are living in Zanzibar, they have courage. Because if you don't have courage, it is not easy.
They collected everything which was inside here, benches. They collected them together, they took the piano, they distracted the altar there, they put them together and they burned.
Zanzibar, the beautiful and exotic island archipelago, 35 kilometers off the coast of Tanzania. In recent years, Islamic extremism from abroad has infiltrated this otherwise peaceful tourist destination, threatening the Christian minority.
The shooting just here. When he was coming from town, celebrate Mass at St. Teresa Church.
As Islamic extremism spreads down the east coast of Africa, from Somalia through Kenya to Tanzania, taking advantage of political divisions and economic hardship, Christian communities, like those in Zanzibar, are faced with an uncertain future.
Still, we are living in fear. We are living in fear because anytime they can do something against the church or against the religious leaders.
Zanzibar was a significant Indian Ocean trade base as far back as the Persian Empire. After the Middle Ages, Arab culture mingled ever more with the local Bantu Swahili people. The short and troubled Portuguese presence ended in the 17th century as the Sultan of Oman installed his rule. The economy flourished mainly because of the brutal slave trade and spice cultivation. The British Empire abolished the slave trade and in 1890 set up a protectorate, which lasted until 1963. Zanzibar became a semi-autonomous republic, and in 1964 joined with Tanganyika to form the United Republic of Tanzania. Today, Zanzibar and the old walls of its UNESCO-registered stone town still offer a magical charm. The smell of spices and the sounds of small merchants echoing through its tiny alleyways, as well as the island's marvelous sandy beaches, attract thousands of tourists every year. The archipelago is home to about 1.4 million people, of which 97% are Muslim. The small Christian minority on the islands of Pemba and Zanzibar has been present there for over 150 years.
In 1977, the time I came to Zanzibar, of course, the number of Catholics was not very big. By that time, there were only about 3,500 Catholics for both islands, Unguja and Pemba. But slowly, as years went by, the number of Catholics increased because we got people from mainland who came to work here. And during that time, the relationship between the Christians and the Muslims was very, very good. And even during our big celebrations like Christmas or Easter, or we have a wedding mass or funeral mass, you see the number of Muslims coming to join us.
In 1992, Tanzania initiated a system of multiple political parties. The issue of faith began to slowly creep into the society's debate.
Where the number of Christians has increased, people started thinking, oh, now this thing, Christianity, is a phenomenon that is growing, is actually competing with the Islam. And then the population started politicizing the issue. That's why actually animosity came in. Most of the persecution over the years, it has been latent, whereby actually the Christians are simply marginalized, but silently, when it comes to education, when it comes to employment opportunities, when it comes to investment or whatever, doing entrepreneurial issues, you find that actually those chances are not equally given.
Some of people who, for example, when you go for shopping, you go outside on the road, they keep on saying, you don't have faith, you don't have faith, you don't know God, you don't believe in one God, you have 3 gods. The Christians who are living in Zanzibar, they have courage. Because if you don't have courage, it is not easy to get a Bible, going for Sunday Mass, dressing properly without the style of Muslim women. You find they are very courageous, so it gives picture that they are really strong.
About half of Zanzibar's population lives below the poverty line. Some political fractions on the island blamed the mainland government of neglect, calling for greater autonomy and even cessation. In 2001, a group called UAMSHO began to tap into these divisive sentiments.
This development started very slowly. This non-government organization was established and actually registered to revitalize Islam. And in doing so, that organization will say Islam cannot work very well here nowadays, simply because there is Christianity that is growing very fast. Commonly known as UAMSHO, revitalization. This particular organization then turned more or less political in agenda, arguing that if there was no union between the Zanzibar and the Tanganyika, then there won't be growth of Christianity, won't have been that fast, because people are moving from the mainland to preach Christianity simply because there is a union. So they took a union and Christianity as one and the same. So we are taken not as Christians, but as soft target, and who are actually more visible. It turns out that actually they are the Catholics. They are the majority, they are more established, so they became the first largest target.
By 2011, UAMSHO gatherings became popular as the group evolved from a religious charity into an Islamist political movement. The leaders rallied their supporters against the wealth on display in Tanzania's tourist resorts, calling for a dress code for foreigners, restrictions on the consumption of alcohol, and the establishment of an independent Zanzibari state with a constitution based on Sharia law. The summer of 2012 saw the first violent clashes, supposedly led by UAMSHO, as hundreds of protesters set fire to churches and clashed with police.
It was 28th of May 2012 is when we were attacked. They came with the name of religion, trying to chase the Christians so that Zanzibar remains the place of the Muslims only. Their intention was to ban the whole church, but they failed. They come in a very big number with a lot of axes, spears, and when they come here, we have some watchmen. They ran away because the people are very many. They feared also to be killed. They came here, they banged the door, then they collected everything which was inside here, benches. They collected them together, they took the piano, they distracted the altar there, they put them together and they burned. They destroyed everything, and then they ran away. And then we reported to the government. And the government did what they decided, but it was not very satisfying.
That time when they were calling of Uamsho, they see young boys moving around, destroying the shops, the cars, and what. It was a threat also for us. We were scared somehow that in case they come to this school, we are with the children and what. It was not good. We are living in tension and fear. Those who are inside with us, we remain with them. We were threatened that they are coming to burn the school, they are coming to destroy whatever the property is here. But at least we informed, some soldiers came and they were in the compound. We thank God that they were with us. Some spent the night here, so at least we were guided.
By the end of 2012, several violent incidents would shake the small Catholic community of Zanzibar. On Christmas Day, Father Ambrose Makenda was shot and seriously wounded. 2 months later, Father Evaristus Mushi was killed just outside the church where he was to say Sunday Mass.
On Saturday evening, we were seated at a dining room on the hall there, Bishop, Father Thomas, myself, and late Father Mushi, taking our dinner. We finished and we were chatting for almost, we left each other at around 10 at night.
This was before the Sunday Mass on the 17th of February 2013. Just here. The shooting just here. When he was coming from town to celebrate Mass at St. Teresa Church, there were two people that were following him with a motorbike, and then they blocked him here. When they blocked him, there was somebody who was standing just there, and he was with a long jacket. And he came to greet Father Mushi. Oh, Father Mushi, how are you? And then Father Mushi was thinking that he's a good man, and the other people, they were quarreling with him. And then the guy took the small pistol, and then they shoot him. I learned that when I was in the church, I was celebrating the Mass. After the Mass, I ran away to the hospital, maybe to find a way of giving him last blessings, but I found that he was dead already. He was a good man, yeah? a generous man, and people, they like him very much. And I can say he was a holy priest and dedicated to his work.
Of course, there is a lot of fear, tension, and so forth. Everybody were worried. We didn't know what is next, but we said we leave it in the hands of God. And the religious, the women, the nuns were the ones who were so much afraid. Because they thought, we want to go back to our congregations, because others come from Kenya, others from Zimbabwe, others from Uganda. So we want to. Bishop said, "You are going. Are you not a missionary? A missionary is a missionary afraid of dying. How many missionaries died because of Christianity and so forth? And you are afraid of this thing. So you want to run away. So you leave the people you're saving, and to be without a person to take care of them. No, you have to stay. This is not the way we do things. You have to stay."
Sometimes you get scared, but all the same circumstances forces you not to. Because if I get scared, I don't come out from here. I don't go to town. We trust God because otherwise, I mean, you are not secure. You feel you are not secure. But sometimes you have to dare whatever will happen. You have to dare. We feel the protection of God throughout.
After that incident of the death of Father Mushi, things were calm. They became calm. It was peaceful. But all of a sudden, in September, the same year, September 13th, at around 4 in the afternoon, Father Ansel Mwangamba he was in a internet cafe, and there somebody called him by phone. So he took his phone and he walked out to listen to his phone. And as he was talking, somebody came and poured acid on his face. And there were people, many people were there, but not even one was arrested.
Despite the subsequent detainment of Uamsho's leaders and the termination of the group's activities, there remains an uneasiness among Zanzibar's Christians.
So we are trying to meet and encourage one another. But of course, still people were in great fear. Even myself, I was in great fear. But I said, I've become a priest, and this is my working place. Whether they want to kill me, I'll die here. But I cannot run away and leave the people behind. I said, we are not going to leave this place. They are Christians here, and you have to take care of them. If you are to leave this place, then you will be the last.
Although Zanzibar's constitution prohibits discrimination on the grounds of religious convictions, the marginalization of the Christian minority there is frequent. Whether it is obtaining permissions to build a church or receiving justice in the court of law, obstructions faced by the minorities are ever present.
Here in Zanzibar, to get a land is very difficult. So the church managed to get the land here, which actually was the house of the person. We get a lot of troubles. Because if we could say that we were buying this house, but in the future, once then we built the church, they could deny. They don't like to hear anything of the church. So we bought with hiding, but our intention was to build the church. When the house was coming up, they discovered that they are building the church. So they began disturbing us a lot. It was not easy, but actually we put all of those insults in the name of God, in the hands of God, and we are still surviving. We hope God is helping us, but actually we have got a lot of obstructions.
The government always says it does not condone those activities. But then in the end, you don't see government machinery taking really action against the culprits. It is said and it goes silent. We have had the effort, for example, where a Muslim family would mistreat a Christian family. And the Christian family will go to complain to authorities. And the authorities will say, we'll look into the matter. And they never take even a single step forward. So it remains in the books of the authorities, so the Christian person will only remain complaining. So the Christians have actually to go a long way to demand their right to be here, to practice their faith. They have to go a long way to be adamant, to show that they actually have the right to be here. If they keep silent, they can actually be easily pushed out of existence altogether.
The archipelago's Christian community remains strong despite the hardship and intimidation it has weathered in recent years. The 8 parishes on Pemba and Zanzibar Islands serve their communities through schools, nurseries, and clinics.
A lot of people are poor, not only the Catholics, even the Muslims are poor. The Catholic Church, what we're trying to do now is to help people. The vision of the diocese is education and health. That's why we're trying to build schools for them, when we are trying to build health centers for the people. We are trying to help everybody without any religious segregation.
This is the Francis Marieli Bomani School. It is a Catholic school, but we receive all children from different families, whether we are Muslim, Christian, we are Catholic, Lutheran. We don't separate, we don't segregate anybody, we receive them all. Those who have completed the colleges or the universities, they keep on witnessing that what you have got, we got it from the church. And they keep on encouraging others that there, it is good to go there, to take your children there, because what we get, it is good for our future.
What I would love to call upon the Christians is not to despair, but to invest in, first of all, in education, and to get actually ready or be vigilant on all matters that end up strengthening their faith. They should cling on their faith and try also to modernize. Without knowledge, without wide understanding, it's very difficult to get themselves out of the situation.
Majority of the people in Zanzibar are children. Therefore, those who pass within our compound, we hope somehow there will be a future in them. The Zanzibar, their main income is from the tourism. When we have the school, which is dealing with the catering, food production, and car mechanic, it will be of great help to the country, because when you get these students, they improve and they get a job, these big hotels, where they deal with the people from outside. Somehow you elevate their standard. And so they can serve the country. We have the hope that in the future, that it will not be like 10 years ago. There will be a seed which is going on growing. And that's what it will be, a new Zanzibar somehow.
E assim, com este documentário sobre Zanzibar, na Tanzânia, chegamos ao fim de mais um Igreja no Mundo, o programa da Fundação AIS aqui na sua televisão. Despeço-me com amizade, até o próximo programa, até à próxima semana, se Deus quiser.